is definitely the best time of year for the baseball season. Everybody's in a relaxed atmosphere. Nobody's played a game yet, so no one's won, no one's lost, and so everyone's equal. The amount of work that the players put in, the hours they put in, the fans I don't think realize that. But also the players that are battling for positions on clubs, there's always great stories in that. Whether there's 2 second basemen or 2 starting pitchers vying for the last starting job. They're both the players are very friendly amongst themselves, but when they go out there, they're doing the best they can, and when they sit down and the other guy takes a spot, they're rooting for him just as well. But those are the great stories, and that's what makes spring so interesting.
Competition. Whether it's making the team or winning, competition is what the game is all about. Over in the Padres camp, there is a battle for the backup catcher position. Among those competing for the job is Brian Deak. Deak has spent his entire career in the minor leagues.
Once you've played a couple years of AAA and stuff, it's kind of like now when you go to camp, you're hoping to get the opportunity to make a team out of spring training, which is what I'm hoping for here. And a lot of times teams come in, they probably already have in their minds who's going to make the team and who's not. So you kind of have to try to make yourself stand out a little bit to show somebody what you can do and hopefully make a team. With the catchers, there's 6 or 7 other catchers out here all they all want to make the team just like I do. So, everybody can catch out here. It's not like somebody's really standing out over somebody else.
For Deak and 100 other prospects, they won't know their future until the end of March. And if the call comes, the memory of the spring their boyhood dream came true will last forever.
There is a board, just there's not a pen, it's just using an eraser to do it. And, it's tough sometimes. I've seen some young men cry, when they get sent out. Or some young men, you got to make them feel that it's not a failure. Or like, most of the time, through process elimination, you don't have to call them in, because these guys have the numbers figured out too. You have a pretty good idea how many pitchers you're going to carry, whether it's 10 or 11, and you start counting down. Whether there's 28 of us left, there's only going to be 3 guys going to leave. Through process elimination, you figure out, okay, are they going to keep 7 infielders or 8 or 5 outfielders or 6, and then after a while, you see a guy. Some guys being sent down, some guys being released, and then you know that you're one of the final cuts. That final cut is the toughest. I don't care if you're in Little League. I was talking to my high school coach who was visiting me yesterday, and he said that he used to go home sometime, and a couple of times he cried on cutting kids because the kid might have had a ton of desire and a ton of ambition, but was short on talent. And it's not easier at that level than it is this level. And anybody that can do it in a fashion doesn't feel any emotions about it, to me, they don't have a heart, and this is what this game's all about.
The youngsters have been playing baseball most of their life, and this is the culmination of their career, is to make the big league teams, because even when they weren't highly paid, as they weren't for many, many years, it was still a way of life that they all wanted.
During the final week of spring training, a lot of dreams are realized or put on hold for another year. Brian Deak's name was missing from the Padres' Major League roster as the team headed for San Diego and an April 4th opening day game against the Atlanta Braves.
You get a little bit of a feel for it first couple weeks that go by in big league camp, and it just came down to basically there was Brad Osmus had the job wrapped up there, and there were two other guys that basically they were looking at to back him up, and right now I just wasn't one of those guys. But hopefully if I can play well in Las Vegas, and I can end up back there during the season. Well, the way it happened here in San Diego, I got here one morning and one of the coaches just told me that Riggleman needed to see me in his office, and at that time you kind of know what's going on, and you go into they had like a little room, and Riggleman was in there with a couple of the other coaches, and Randy Smith was in there, the GM, and they just kind of let you know where you stand as far as the organization goes, and basically that's it. Just tell you to go down and keep working hard. Because we're sending you down, that doesn't mean we think any different of you. You still feel that you can play in the big leagues, but right now there's just some other things that we got to do. Sometimes it's tough, but still I'm doing what I love doing. I'm still getting paid for it, even down in the minor leagues. So it's sometimes just kind of gotta take things, at what they are. I'm playing a game right now which I love doing, and I'm just a step away from the big leagues, and hopefully I can get there.